There's barely room to move and no physical contact with the outside world. Food supplies arrive via an airtight hatch, and even the TV pictures are projected in from the outside. But this isn't outer space. It's the North Sea.
If the glass failed, we know it could go horribly, horribly wrong for us in here.
Six men live and sleep in this 4.8 metre by 2 metre closed capsule. Pressure is 19 times higher than it is outside. The men have to eat, rest and sleep in here for 28 days at a time. Meet crew member Ashley Cooper.
This is the day chamber where we would normally sit and take our meals and relax. Moving around, we've got our common system here where we would normally ask for various things that we might need during our day. Tea, coffee, biscuits, those sort of things, general food. Probably one of the most important pieces of kit I could show you is this one. Because we're under pressure in here, there's a set procedure to actually flushing away our waste, because this could be quite a massive loss of gas or personal injury.
But who are these men who live and sleep in such strange conditions? They're saturation divers for an oil services company, fixing pipes and rigs at depths of up to 180 metres. This is one of the most extreme environments in the world. When a diver descends into the sea, the water pressure dramatically compresses the gases like carbon dioxide in his blood.
Because the gas is compressed and the deeper you are, the more gas you'll take on board, your body will become more saturated because it'll seep into your soft tissues.
As long as they stay at this incredible 19 times normal pressure, their saturated blood and tissues are fine. But at the end of the working day, if they come to the surface too quickly, the gases would suddenly expand. This causes a condition called the bends. At best, very painful, at worst, deadly. It's just like when you open a bottle of fizzy pop.
The gas will be trapped in certain areas of your body. If it's within the nerve system, it may damage that nerve, and which then can lead you on to what used to be called the bends, which is a decompression illness. The only way to decompress is to gradually come back to surface pressure. Working at 180 metres, it's going to take over 6 days to decompress.
Paying a diver for 6 days recovery for just 1 day's work would be costly for the oil business. So they came up with a clever solution. Keep the men at pressure through work, sleep and play. A pressurised diving bell takes the men up to their pressurised chamber on the support boat, ensuring that the men's bodies never decompress. When their next shift begins, the diving bell simply takes them back down again to work. The chamber on the boat keeps the divers at the same pressure as the seabed, thereby removing the need to decompress every time they finish a shift. This technology can reduce some of the stress on divers' bodies caused by constant changes in pressure.
What saturation diving really is, instead of having a dive on a daily basis, you're saturated at the very beginning of your trip and then you'll make the decompression right at the very end. Saturation diving is multiple dives and then being decompressed right at the very end.
These men are in the middle of a 28-day shift pattern and have to adapt to the challenge of living and sleeping under deep sea pressure. It's no job for the claustrophobic.
You have such a small personal space that you learn to live around each other and you learn each other's quirks. But unfortunately, the system that you're in, everybody smells, whether they think they don't or not. I suppose a bit like a wet dog.
Long-term, the effects of saturation diving can be reduced pulmonary function and neurological damage, which is why these guys are carefully monitored 24/7.
This is why we've got O2 analyzers and CO2 analyzers, set alarms so we count highs and lows and just keep the air fresh.
Nothing about their lives is ordinary. Even the air that they breathe is different. Normal air is made up of 21% oxygen and 78% nitrogen. But there's a problem with nitrogen when diving.
The deeper you get, the nitrogen becomes a narcotic, which is nitrogen narcosis, which is just a feeling of being very, very drunk. And for us as saturation divers, they'll replace all the nitrogen.
What they replace it with is helium, the stuff we use in party balloons. Now, helium is lighter than normal air, so when it passes over vocal cords, they vibrate more quickly. The result is high-pitched comedy voices.
All right, Tristan. Right, how's your day been?
Well, this is it, if you can see this on the camera.
Yes, they can.
This is about it while we're in port.
Yeah.
Having cups of tea and chocolate digestives.
Chillaxing.
Yeah.
So the upsides of your colleagues smelling like wet dogs are the evenings spent giggling at their Donald Duck voices, sending you laughing all the way to Betty Buys.
Hello.
Incredibly, at the end of their 28-day cycle, the men can't just go ashore. They have to spend another 6 days and nights here as the chamber is slowly decompressed. Only then can they finally sleep in their own beds again.